Hi there, this is One Drum Computer Day with your favorite drum machine geek and host Steve. It's me. Welcome back to my studio. I have a very special and quick episode about a funky little drum synth from the 80s. It's called the Icon Design dsm200. And the reason for this episode is that I sadly enough decided to let this one go. And this is sold already, so not for sale anymore. But it's so super rare, and there's, I think, almost nothing on information about this machine on the World Wide Web. So I thought it might be sad if I don't do a video before I send this out to a lucky guy. Alright, let's check it out. Okay, here it is. That's the Icon dsm200. Beautiful 80s design, classic 80s drum synth. It's super rare. It actually doesn't show up ever. So sometimes if you're lucky, like every 5 years there might be one on eBay. But since I have so many drum synthesizers from this area, I decided to let this one go. But yeah, that's the reason why I'm doing this little demo, because there's pretty much nothing on the World Wide Web. So it's 2 channels, and every channel has one oscillator with noise and also one low pass filter, and that's basically it. But the Icon does have like a really fat sound, and of course it's a little bit of a copy of the Simmons, which is the legendary drum synth sound of the 80s. Everyone does remember it, the Simmons SDS5. You can hear it on countless records from the 80s. But this one sounds quite nice, and yeah, let's bring up one channel. That's the first channel, and yeah, so we have the input here for the sensitivity of the trigger. You can use audio to trigger it, or you can use like a little drum sequencer like I do right now, your modular or whatever. Alright, let's start here. That's the decay, so this defines how long the sound is. That's a very short sound, and it's a classic pow 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 sound. Then you have the bend, and the bend is a pitch envelope. So if I no, it doesn't pitch bend, but if I bring it up, it starts to add the pitch envelope, and when I pitch it down, I can do like a tom sound. I can bring it down for like a kick type sound. And then there's the mix, and the mix mixes between the oscillator. So this is like the tonal sound. It's hard to tell, but I will record it later on with a proper audio interface so you can tell. And then I can blend in the noise and combine it. And for the noise, there's a low pass filter, so I can filter down the noise, or I can filter it up. And then there's also a switch here where you can change the filter type. So this is the one for snare sounds, and this is the one for tom sounds. Next to it there's a little attack, so you can define the attack of the sound. So it adds a little clickiness at the beginning of the sound. Then there's a panning, and yeah, the second channel is exactly the same. Let's bring it up so we hear 2 sounds at the same time. There's also one funny thing, there's a little gate, so you can gate like the snare I have here, so it gets like shorted. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Let me stop it from here, and then maybe have a little look on the back side. There's a stereo out, so you can pan both sounds. Both sounds have an individual out, which is also quite cool. And then there's a trigger in and there's a pad in, so you can trigger it from your drum machine, from your audio interface with the audio signal, or even from your modular. Like what I'm doing right now, I'm using a little drum sequencer over here. It's that one, the Crazy 8 Beats from Twisted Electrons. I like it a lot. And this is triggering the icon right now. There's a mono stereo switch, and then there is a stereo link in and out. I think this is when you have a lot of those modules and you want to daisy chain them for like a bigger kit, because you only have 2 sounds here. There are also two touch triggers here, and also the sounds, they respond to the level. So they are basically they recognize velocity, so the higher the level is what comes in, the louder the sound gets. Alright, that's the quick overview. I record like a minute of sound, and yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this super quick episode, and I'm glad that there's some footage left on the internet right now about this little machine, because it sounds fantastic. So if you find one, grab it, because it might take a while.